Hi, welcome to Aging Matters. My name is Carol Morrock with SeniorCare.com. And my special guest today is Michelle Jeong. And she is a serial entrepreneur, an aging tech specialist, as well as a family caregiver. So, welcome, Michelle. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with your audience, and it's a pleasure and honor to be here.
Wonderful. And Michelle is part of our Aging Council membership program that she participates in. We ask different experts in aging several questions each month, and Michelle has generously given us her time. So, Michelle, today I have a question about family caregiving. More specifically around aging at home. And for seniors who are at home, who may be dealing with a chronic illness, potentially post surgery, and if they don't have a family caregiver who is nearby to help out, can you give us some suggestions and tips to the audience so they can kind of learn from your own experience on how to deal with these situations?
Of course. Thank you so much for the question. It's actually very timely because I am personally going through this right now. As you had mentioned, I am a family caregiver. I caregive for both my two young daughters as well as my parents. Recently, my father experienced a stroke and he was hospitalized about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Fortunately, it was very localized to his right eye. However, post-acute care has been a challenge. And I can definitely speak firsthand to that. And a lot of cases where um, the seniors are single, and a lot, actually, a huge percent of seniors who are aging in place do live alone, and that is increasingly a big problem for not just the individual, but also for this country. And we absolutely need to address it now. Um, I would say on just to speak from a actionable perspective, what can you do is it really definitely takes a village. And what I mean by that is if you are not near other family members who would step up to the plate, uh, lean on your friends, your neighbors, your church organizations, your clubs that you've been involved in, because these are all people that want to see you thrive and want to have a personal accountability for your health. And there are organizations, because I'm a age tech specialist, there are websites such as lots of helping hands that help your community, and you could do an invite to help check in on you, because isolation is also a big challenge, especially post-hospitalization, that you want to address. Um, so there are things lots of helping hands can actually address, such as making a sharing, delivering food,
Yes.
and checking in on you when you can. Just the informal community that you've built where you live. These are all practical steps. Another thing is, as part I being involved with a startup called LifeAssist, we create a device called Rosie as well as Secura, and actually have a little
Oh,
little
nice.
example
Nice.
right here, but is actually digitizing your post-acute care plan.
Oh,
And
nice.
during the discharge portion of your hospitalization is really having the nurse sit down. Right now, it's all paperwork, and when you're on meds and when you are alone and when you're sick, the last thing you can do is read sometimes. So having the nurse actually help set the reminders, set a doctor's appointments, at least for the first 1 or 2 weeks, to kind of get you out of there, out of that hump or
Hmm.
haze, is going to be extremely helpful. I do this with my parents. I set different reminders to help them with my mom's morning meds and evening meds, my dad's as well. The exercise classes every Friday, things such as children's visits, and I can upload videos, photos, I can take notes, I can share it also with my greater circle, care circle. So whether that be neighbors or therapists, et cetera. So we all have access to the same information when possible. So these are
Yeah.
practical steps
Mm-hmm.
that we can all take in real time today to help both seniors who live alone, but also, frankly speaking, all seniors going through post-acute care.
Yes. Well, what's so important is getting people around you involved, not only in your
Absolutely.
yeah, not only in your care, but also to help kind of alleviate the isolation that we all feel when we are either going through a really hard time in terms of maybe healing from a surgery or dealing with a chronic illness. But it's so important to
Yeah.
have people around us. And many times we think, well, if the
Yeah.
family's not around, then we really can't count on friends. But I think the more we rely on others and have them rely on us, that kind of builds a really quality support team. And that's so important.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Carol, on that. A lot of us, especially in this country, we're told in our culture to toughen up
Yeah, yeah,
and to not show this vulnerability.
yeah,
But it takes a huge amount of courage to ask for help, especially, and people want to. I mean, that's the thing is people want to help when they can. And it takes a lot of courage, and I encourage everyone to take a step out because we've all been there. We're all caregivers. We may not
yeah.
look like it, but we're all caregivers, or we'll all go down that path.
Yes,
And um, it takes both courage and vulnerability to admit that you need help.
yeah,
Um, and, and people will step up.
yeah. And
Um,
and learn to accept it, to
exactly.
accept
Thank
help.
you.
And that's okay. It's okay. We
It's more
think
than
that, oh,
okay.
I can't care for myself, so I'm a bad person.
Yes,
And that's,
it's more than okay.
yeah.
I lean on my um, it's funny because there's the whole Sheryl Sandberg approach of lean in. I call it more lean
Oh,
on.
nice. Yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely lean on people, and it could be services such as there are Honor. There's home assistant programs such as Honor or Home Instead. And there's also the courage and need to say, depending on the event, depending on your age and your situation, of really trying to reevaluate, take a very good hard look at your situation, say, okay, do I need to reconsider living in more of a community environment?
hmm,
Uh,
right.
and what does that look like for me? What does that, and how do I plan now to move in that direction?
Very good. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate your time, and I know our audience will too. So, audience, I have a question for you. If you enjoyed Michelle's useful tips, please like, share, and also subscribe. Thank you again, Michelle.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And thank you, audience, for inviting me over to listen.